If you want to change your life, your business, don't wait to see what others cook for you. Get back on horse and create your own future. I'm going to take a few questions. Any questions? No questions.
I would like to get back to the first and second slide you shared. First, you talked about vision as a most important thing in the leadership process. Everybody talks about the vision. That's obvious. And after that, you mentioned passion. I see passion as a glue that put together all of our set of actions toward our vision. But the problem I have most of the time, I do have my visions already written down, and I'm passionate, so I take some actions, and after a while, it sounds that my passion is going down. The question is how we can lift up our passion, just pump it up once we see the decline in our passion, because that's the most important thing. If we are not passionate, we don't love what we do.
Absolutely.
So what would you suggest to make ourselves more passionate about the things we do?
You remember I told you Nelson Mandela was in prison for 27 years. Every time it became tough, he pictured the day he has achieved that goal. So visualization helps. Visualize the day on which you celebrate you have achieved your goal. So one thing. But what concerns me is if you really do what you love. You know? If you really love what you do, you'll never get enough of it. I mean, the examples are Warren Buffett. He's, I think, 87 or 88 maybe. He never thinks about retirement because he loves what he does. And that's what makes Elon Musk run three companies simultaneously. So the question you would ask yourself is this really what I want? Why do you do what you do? Ask yourself. Is it really because you love it or because you get a good salary, for example? There are genuine questions. Ask yourself. What would you do if you didn't do that work? What job would suit you if that job didn't exist? Does that make sense? So getting back to the drawing table. Why, really, why do you do whatever you do? And what would you do if you were wealthy, if you didn't have to work for money? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Who else?
With the strategy you tell us.
You can say it in Dutch, by the way, if you prefer to say it in Dutch. Anyway.
My English, you don't understand it. I'll switch to Dutch.
Okay, great.
With the strategy, you talk about coaching leadership. I really believe in that, but I have some problems to combine it with, to say the no, decisiveness. Like if you're coaching leadership and you tell them, well, this is my problem, help me solve it, and they come with a solution. So that's where it was my own struggle, but how do you cope with it?
Well, you know, leaders don't know everything. You know? And that's right. They have an idea, but maybe in another talk I'm gonna share with people who will join that. Humility is the key to greatness. When leaders reach out to their people, help me, I don't know the answer. They're opening the door for new ideas. They do have an idea, but they want to check with their people what they have got. Someone like Steve Jobs, he always had an idea, but he checked as well. So it's coaching leadership is, I truly believe you can grow to the next level if you empower people around you. You can only empower people if they give them wings, if they give them responsibility, if they give them the middles they need to grow to the next level. When the complexity grows in the organization, you can't solve it on your own. You have to hire people smarter than you. You have to delegate. You have to listen to them. It's more collecting feedback. It's more checking what the leader is cooking. Is it going to fly? Is it going to work well or not? They often have a great idea, but they're not right all the time. That's why they check. Does that make sense? What else? No one?
Maybe one.
Yeah, sure.
Do you think these characteristics have changed over time? For example, in the last 70, 60 years, you were talking about the young ladies, their life.
The traits, no, don't change. I mean, we still comply with leadership lessons we have learned from Alexander the Great, from Cyrus the Great, that you have to have a vision is timeless. What I have shared with you, 6 or 7 of them are timeless. I have added building highly effective teams. But that you have to communicate, absolutely. You're going to need it. But how you communicate, yes. We have now digital leadership. We have now Twitter leadership, you know. You still have to communicate. But how you communicate, that evolves. But that you have to communicate, it doesn't. That you have to love what you do, it doesn't change. You want to say something? Absolutely.
Yes, what comes to mind is that since the end of World War II, we had a real Newtonian kind of leadership. You know, we had to rebuild, we had to construct, we had to be very man-wise, I would say. And what pops up more and more is let's say, the female elements of leadership. Not only in females, but also in men. Can you say and share something about that development?
Absolutely. It's the half of population almost, right? So we had the alpha leadership for thousands of years. There are great leaders born in female community. The former CEO of PepsiCo, she was an Indian girl, and I guess, Indra Nooyi, and she did it fantastic. Ariana Huffington, the lady I work with, she's one of the great leaders. So I see it from two sides. Men didn't really believe, there were men who really didn't believe in females, but it is also less share for them if they give room to females to occupy the leadership roles. So, and there was also less assertiveness, believing in themselves in many females. Still, in some communities, in some countries, females really believe they have to be taken care of by their husband. It has to come from two sides. So females have to take ground, claim their ground, and men have to leave some ground for females. Does that make sense?
Yes, and in addition to that, I also see that the feminine part within males is also asking for answers. So there's a lot of top executives that are aware of the fact that the way they did it is no longer the way of the future. And they're getting, let's say, they're struggling a little bit in what is expected from them to build and sustain the future rather than continue doing what they always did.
Absolutely, absolutely. Females have capabilities that men by nature don't have. Eye for details, eye for process. In some cases, it really makes sense to be more process-oriented than goal-oriented. Right? Good.
Well, I think I just tried to do my neighbor some hours ago, but I think the question behind this question is, when will ASSA become the business partner?
So, sorry, say it again. When you what? When you what? Okay. Anything else?
I have a question regarding the highly effective teams. I really like that piece. So, if you have teams that are achieving the same goal, the same vision, but within a team, obviously based on the size of the team, you have some people who are not willing to change. That goes back to what we just said. So, how have you encountered it and made sure that everybody gets on the same page and strives for the same goal?
The algorithm is very simple, but the implementation is not. Let people, your people, do more of what they love to do and become more of what they love to become. I'll give you an example. We all love flowers, right? It's in the book as well, by the way. So we take the most beautiful flowers, we cut them, we take them home, we nurture, we bring them with love. We really love to have those flowers home. You know what happens? The flower dies after a few days. And what we do, it's going to stink, right? Smell bad. We're going to put it actually in garbage. It happens to employees as well. We bring them with love, with passion, in social media, with a big announcement, and then we hire attorneys, lawyers to get rid of them. Because we make them do what they don't want to do. We make them become someone they are not. And when, like the flower I told you, when you change the environment the employee doesn't fit in, the employee is going to die gradually.
You mean then?
Absolutely. You know, hire slowly, but fire fast. That's what I mean. You know why? Because you make the employee empty from within when you let them remain where they don't belong to. They die gradually. Help them pursue their career in other teams in the organization or even outside. Be generous with the social plan, whatever, but help them pursue what they really love to do when they're young. When they are 2/3 of their life, it becomes even more difficult for many people. Does that make sense? Anything else?
Sorry.
I should have put light much early on. Yeah, absolutely. So sorry.
So how do you think about being able to adapt to change? Because in your last slide, with the strategy, you had some companies that you said didn't make it because of their strategy, but I think also because they weren't able to adapt to the change that the customers asked for. So how do you see that in leadership? Do you think that's also important, or?
Absolutely. You know, change is there are two guarantees: death and change. Change is the only guarantee in business. So companies that do not adapt to change will die eventually. Even if your name is Nokia, even if your name is BlackBerry, you have 45% of the world market share. So the role of the leadership is embracing the change, welcoming technology. I told you, build highly effective teams. I can't tell you everything because the time frame is short. One of the team members you have to have in your team is called technology. You have to give the role that technology can play in your team. Embracing the change. You know, I learned some 30 years ago, if you want to make an impact, you have two choices. You make other people follow you, or you follow the winning change as fast as you can. Does that make sense? Anything else? And if there are no questions, we're going to have something to... All right. Yeah, sure.
You want to be a leader if you're just a team member. Like, if you're part of a team, you're not in a position to also take a supervisor or manager, but you still want to make impact and say. And you need to
Absolutely, yes. You know, Elon Musk had only $2,000. Like me, I came also with $2,000, but he did a better job. He went to the States with $2,000 only. But look where he is. Gandhi was just an ordinary person. What I shared with you, they are leadership qualities. If you want to be a leader, you would have to learn, master leadership qualities. It's like the key. It doesn't really matter who has the key. Everybody who has the key can open the door, right? I just shared with you, Donald Trump became the president because he used the key much better than anyone else. Master the rules of the game and play it better than anyone else, said Albert Einstein. Then you will win. Did that answer your question? You know, do what you really love to do. When you love what you do it over and over and over and again. When you do anything over and over and again while loving it, people notice you. They see you get better. You do it faster. You do it better and better. And that's how we can grow. So the key to grow is really loving what you do. Even more important than vision. Anything else? I love so many questions. Sure.
What I encounter quite often is that if you ask people what would you really love to do, they really don't know.
Absolutely.
They don't have a clue.
Absolutely.
So that is very often blocked by trauma or other parts, that are in the way. And if you take that out of the way, they connect to their hearts, and the heart knows. And then, things happen in the same way as you were saying, like then you replace the good for the greatest.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you. And there is nothing wrong with that, by the way. And I have had people who are 40, 50, 60, and 70, and they say, well, I don't know. I just live by the day. That's fine. But it has a process. I mean, I don't want to advertise my book, First Class Ministry, but there is a way to find your passion. There are a few questions asked. How you can find your passion. But you really love it. Last question I'm going to take, then we're going to have, ask me whatever you want later on, and you can connect with me. And but let's remain with the schedule a little bit. Last question.
So what's your vision for the next 5 years?
And then I will have coach presidents, influential presidents. You laugh at me, right? Okay. Thank you so much for your time. So let's have something to drink, and if there is anything to eat, something to eat.